Welcome to the Exhaust IQ head gasket test. Let's get started. Your kit includes a 100 milliliter syringe, activator fluid, a test vial, a silicone gasket, and an overflow tube cover. The coolant system in a vehicle can be incredibly hot. Ensure the vehicle has cooled and is turned off before removing the radiator cap. Ensure any loose items and clothing are away from the engine while it's running. Prior to testing, ensure that your coolant system is filled with the correct amount of coolant. With the vehicle off and the engine cooled off, remove the pressurized radiator cap. Inspect the level of the radiator fluid in the neck. You'll need at least 3 inches of space between the radiator fluid level and the top of the radiator neck. If the radiator fluid is too high, remove fluid with your syringe and put it in a separate container while the test is being done. If you remove fluid with the syringe, ensure that it is thoroughly cleaned before moving forward with the test. If the radiator has an overflow tube, you can increase the sensitivity of the test by gently removing the line off the neck. Thoroughly clean the plastic connector, ensuring the outside and inside are cleaned of coolant. Find the kit's adhesive overflow tube cover. Cover the plastic connector by pressing and holding the adhesive against the connector for 5 seconds. Find the test vial. At the bottom of the vial, you'll find a fine-tipped connector. This connector is critical for the Exhaust IQ blow-by test. However, it is not needed for the head gasket test. Unscrew the tip off the test vial. Open the top of the test vial and locate the clear or silver-capped activator fluid. Locate the arrows on the cap and push up on the cap at this location. Pull the cap back and remove the aluminum. It's critical that the clear cap vial is used as the fluid is calibrated differently than the blue cap fluid used in the blow-by test. Insert the activator fluid into the top of the test vial. Lightly shake the vial to allow the fluid to flow. Close the top of the test vial and insert the bottom of the test vial into the top of the silicone gasket. Set the test vial and gasket aside and turn on the vehicle. Let the vehicle run until it reaches operating temperature. This could take 8 to 20 minutes depending on the ambient temperature. Once the vehicle is at operating temperature, place the gasket over the radiator neck. Before you put the gasket on, ensure that there is still 3 to 4 inches of space from the top of the coolant to the top of the radiator neck. If the coolant has risen, carefully remove the coolant to the proper depth. Ensure that the excess coolant is added back to the radiator once the test is complete. With the gasket on the radiator neck, apply the brake and put the vehicle in neutral. Rev the vehicle up to 1500 RPM and hold it for 30 seconds. With the vehicle still on, insert the tip of the syringe into the top of the test vial. Slowly draw 100 milliliters of air from the radiator neck. If you're noticing that the plunger is becoming difficult to pull, lift the gasket off the radiator neck to break the seal. Place the gasket back onto the radiator neck and continue pulling. Remove the test vial and swirl the fluid for 5 to 10 seconds. Inspect the color of the fluid for any color change. If the fluid is no longer blue, this could indicate a blown head gasket, cracked cylinder head, or, on a rare occasion, a cracked engine block. Once your test is complete, ensure that any removed radiator fluid is put back into the radiator. The radiator's pressurized cap is put back on. The overflow tube cover is removed, and the overflow tube is reconnected. Thank you for completing your Exhaust IQ test, and we would love for you to follow us online.